All right, you're in France, 1347. You're standing in the middle of your village square, and you already know the rule. Once they say the word, you're already dead. The trial is just theater. You're Margot now, a baker's wife, 26, married for 7 years to a man twice your age. Yesterday, your neighbor told the priest she saw a man leaving your house at midnight. She lied, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the word she used. Adulteress. Here's something they don't teach you in school. In medieval Europe, adultery wasn't a sin. It was a crime. And for women, it was a crime punishable by things worse than death. The guards are walking toward you now. Your husband stands beside the priest, arms crossed, face like stone. He's not here to defend you. He's here to watch. Margot of Beaumont, the bailiff announces. You stand accused of adultery against your husband and God. You open your mouth to speak, to deny it, to explain. A guard hits you across the face. The accused, he says, does not speak. This is 1347. And for women accused of adultery, the nightmare is just beginning. Let me explain this part so you don't get lost. In medieval Europe, adultery had different rules for men and women. A married man who slept with an unmarried woman? Minor sin. Small fine. Maybe a few days of penance. A married woman who was even accused of looking at another man? That was different. The legal term was breach of the husband's honor. Not breach of marriage. Breach of honor. You weren't a person who made a choice. You were proper. They shave your head. Not quickly. Slowly. Pulling the blade across your scalp while the crowd watches. Some of your hair comes out in bloody clumps. They don't stop. Let me explain what this meant. In medieval Europe, a woman's hair was her identity. Cutting it was social death. A shaved woman was marked. Everyone who saw her knew. She had sinned. She had fallen. She was less than human now. The humiliation rituals varied by region, but they followed patterns. In Germany, they made accused women ride backward on a donkey through the village. The symbolism was clear. You're an animal now. Less than an animal. Animals at least face forward. In England, they used the cucking stool, a chair attached to a lever over a pond or river. They dunked you until you nearly drowned. Then they pulled you up. Then they dunked you again and again, sometimes for hours. In France, where you are now, they preferred the procession. They tie a rope around your neck, not tight enough to choke, tight enough to lead. Like livestock, here's your first rule of survival. Rule number 1, don't fall. If you fall, they drag you. The stones will tear your skin off before they stop. The procession begins at the church. It ends at the market square. Half a mile of cobblestones. The crowd follows. They throw things. Rotten vegetables. Mud. Sometimes stones. The guards don't stop them. The guards laugh. A child throws a rock that hits your temple. Blood runs into your eye. You keep walking. You have to keep walking. Quick thing. If you're deep in this, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Now back to 1347. Back to the market square. You were public property now. Punishment was a community activity. The first night is the worst. That's when the drunks come. That's when the men come. You can't scream. The branks make sure of that. You can't fight. The chains make sure of that. All you can do is survive. And here's the twist you're not going to like. If you survive 3 days, you're purified. You can return to society. A broken, humiliated, violated version of society. But alive. Most women didn't make it 3 days. Day 2 at the post. You're still alive. Your tongue is shredded from the branks. You haven't eaten in 40 hours. The things that happened in the night left you bleeding in places you don't want to think about. But you're alive. And here's the thought that keeps you breathing. Could be worse. You know it could be worse. You've heard the stories from travelers. What they do in other places. In Italy, they brand you. A hot iron pressed to the face. The letter A burned into the cheek. Permanent. Visible. A mark that says adulteress without words. You've seen a woman with that brand. She came through your village 2 years ago. Begging. No one would hire her. No one would touch her. She starved within the month. The brand doesn't kill you. It just makes sure you wish it had. In Spain, it's worse. Under the Inquisition, adultery is heresy. And heresy means fire. But not quick fire. First comes the questioning. Racks that pull your joints apart. Water torture that makes you feel like drowning. Thumbscrews that crush bone into powder. You've heard about a woman named Catalina de Almeida, questioned for 17 days. She confessed to adultery with 12 different men. Later they proved she had never met any of them. She burned anyway. Once you confess, the confession stands. In Germany, husbands have the right to kill. No trial. No questions. If he catches you, he can strangle you on the spot. The law protects him. You think about your husband, standing there when they accused you, arms crossed, face like stone. Would he have killed you if he'd had the chance? You don't know. After 7 years, you don't know. But you're in France. And France has its own special punishment. The priest is walking toward you again. Rule number 3, don't hope. Hope died when they said the word. He's decided the post isn't enough. Your sin requires trial by water. Let me explain what this meant. In medieval France, some crimes were considered too severe for human judgment. God had to decide. So they let God judge through the ordeal. For adultery, the ordeal was drowning. They take you to the river. The whole village follows. This is the main event now. The method was precise. They bound your hands and feet. They attached a rope to your waist. They threw you in. If you floated, you were guilty. The water rejected you because of your sin. If you sank, you were innocent. The water accepted you because you were pure. Here's the problem with being innocent. Innocent people drown. The rope was supposed to save you. They were supposed to pull you out before you died. Sometimes they did. Sometimes they forgot. Sometimes they pulled too slow. Church records from the period show the statistics. Of 847 women subjected to water ordeal in northern France between 1300 and 1400, 312 drowned. Those who floated were executed anyway. Guilty verdict, automatic death. Those who sank and survived were purified. But many had permanent brain damage from oxygen deprivation. Many couldn't walk, talk, or remember their own names. The church called these women touched by God. The families called them burdens. And here's the part that should make you angry. The men accused of being the lovers, they faced trial by combat. A fair fight with swords. If they won, they were innocent. If they lost, they died quickly. Women got drowned. Men got sword fights. The church saw no contradiction. Here's what the bones tell us. Archaeological surveys of medieval cemeteries reveal patterns. Female skeletons buried outside consecrated ground. Without coffins. Without markers. Without dignity. These were the adulteresses. The accused. The convicted. The women the church decided weren't worthy of Christian burial. Bone analysis shows the trauma. Healed fractures from beatings. Damage consistent with branding. Vertebrae compressed from hanging. But the most disturbing evidence comes from mass graves near rivers. At Rouen, excavations uncovered 47 female skeletons in sediment layers dating to the 14th century. All showed signs of binding at wrists and ankles. All drowned. These weren't flood victims. These were ordeal victims. Women thrown into the water to let God judge them. The youngest was 14 years old. Court records from the period tell us her crime. She was accused of looking with desire at a young man in the market. Her accuser was her mother-in-law. She sank. She was innocent. She also died. One skeleton contained a detail that stopped the archaeologists cold. A small object clutched in her hand. Bone had grown around it, meaning she held it as she died. It was a wooden cross. Handmade. Crude. She went to her death holding on to faith. Faith in a church that killed her. Faith in a God whose priests threw her into the river. The cross is now in a museum in Paris. The placard doesn't mention her name. No one recorded it. She was 14. She looked at a boy. And she died holding a cross her killer's church gave her. What happened to Margot? We don't know. She's a composite. A reconstruction from court records, church documents, and silent bones. But she existed. Thousands of women like her existed, accused by jealous neighbors, rejected by cowardly husbands, tortured by pious priests. Some survived, broken, branded, violated, but alive. Most didn't. The church kept detailed records of sin, but they never recorded her name. They never recorded her scream when the water hit her face. They never recorded the moment she realized the rope wasn't coming. They just recorded, sank, innocent, deceased. 3 words for a 14-year-old girl who died holding a cross. She believed in the church that killed her. She believed until the water filled her lungs. And somewhere in a French river, she's still holding on. If this stays with you, subscribe.